Okay, so earlier today, the Supreme Court ruled that Donald Trump's global tariff that he imposed back in April last year, called the Liberation Day, were illegal. And then he responded by adding a new 10% tariff on every country? Wait, how is that possible? If the court banned his tariff, how is he now adding more tariffs? So I've been trying to make a sense of this, and once you understand how tariffs really work, this whole thing starts to make more sense. So let's start with the simple. What is a tariff? A tariff basically is a tax on things coming into your country. Imagine your country is a house and your neighbor wants to sell you a toy. A tariff means you have to pay extra money to bring that toy inside your house. Governments use tariffs to protect their own companies and make foreign goods more expensive. So when Trump imposed tariffs since 2025, he was making foreign products more expensive to enter the US. And by doing that, and by he, I mean the entire America, netted around 150 billion from across the world. So the Supreme Court has been going through all of this tariff saga and trying to put a verdict of whether it's legal or should Trump have convinced or gone through the Congress to impose these tariffs. So in today's verdict, Supreme Court says no, those tariffs were kind of illegal. And by doing that, the Supreme Court did not ban tariffs as a whole. They only banned the specific law President Trump used to impose them. He used something called emergency powers. Emergency powers are meant for things like war, terrorism, or a national crisis. The court said basically you can't use emergency powers to credit, tariffs. That power belongs to the Congress, so those specific tariffs has to stop. So how is Trump now adding more tariffs? This is where things get interesting. There isn't just one law that allows Donald Trump to impose these tariffs. There are multiple laws actually. Think of it like this. Imagine one door gets locked, but there are 5 other doors that are still open. The court locked one of those doors, one of the big doors, but Trump had just walked through another one. He announced that a new 10% global tariff using different law that is fully legal. So what are those laws? That law is called Section 122 of the Trade Act of 1974. This law allows the President of the United States to impose temporary tariffs if the country believes trade is unfair or hurting its economy. There are also other laws like Section 232, which allows tariffs for national security reasons, and Section 301, which allows tariffs if another country is cheating or trading unfairly. These laws were approved Congress years ago, and the Supreme Court did not ban them. So he's not breaking the court's ruling by taking another route right now. He's working around it. And by putting 10% more tariffs, he's showing that he still has authority. So the main question is, why is Donald Trump so set on tariffs? Well, the answer is simple, and we've seen this over and over again. Donald Trump has been using tariffs as a weapon for negotiation. He's been trying to negotiate key deals, not just, trade-specific, but military deals and even business deals, and using tariffs as a power of negotiation. Trump believes that tariff protects American companies, and he is kind of right to think so. Tariff makes foreign goods more expensive, which makes local companies more competitive. He's saying the court did not take away that tariff power. It just told them that he has to use different legal tools. And so now that's what he's doing. But he's not that happy about it. So why should you care? Because whatever this tariff drama is going, it affects the entire financial market, whether you're trading stocks, crypto, or even commodities like gold and silver. So stocks react because tariffs increase business costs. So as we've seen when the Liberation Day tariffs went live last year, stocks reacted extremely. S&P 500 dropped, Nasdaq dropped, Dow Jones dropped, everything dropped. Eventually they recovered, but the initial shock was very big. Crypto reacts because tariffs can affect global money flow and economic stability. When businesses have increasing costs, they tend to invest less in risk assets. So does people. And gold reacts because investors buy gold when they feel uncertain about the economy. It's the classic safe haven. So is silver. So commodities usually go up. So earlier today, when all this drama were unfolding, Supreme Court first saying they were illegal and Trump imposing new tariffs, gold markets reacted very volatilely. If you see, gold initially went down, then recovered, went down again, and then recovered again. So gold traders are uncertain about what to feel right now. But eventually, when these legalities get cleared up, potentially in the coming weeks, commodities investors will have a more well-informed sense of direction. So if tariffs increase inflation or slow growth, markets can become volatile. That's why stocks, crypto, and gold all move after today's news, some in different directions. So overall, what's the bottom line here? The Supreme Court's verdict did not end tariffs. It did not say that tariffs imposed by the United States were illegal. No. It just said the method Trump used for one of those tariffs, those global tariffs back in Liberation Day, that method was incorrect. And to imply that method, he had to go through Congress. So now Trump just doesn't stop imposing tariffs. He just chooses a different way to impose them. He simply found another way to continue. And as he goes, there are several other ways the United States can impose tariffs. So, of course, it goes without saying that this is not the end of tariffs. This is not the last time you're going to hear about it. It's just the next chapter. And we might even see more aggressive tariffs from the United States.